Anyway, I grew up a little bit, and when I was 7 years old, I had my first crush on a girl. She was Japanese.
その64ってアメリカでもみんなやってたの
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or we would bring our Game Boys, and there was an attachment that you put on your controller to put your game in, so you could battle your actual Pokemon that you
やってたわ
Of course, yeah! But I studied 国際関係 in college. What am I passionate about? I made a Japanese commercial. Japan! And she literally takes me out of the class, and then she talks to me one-on-one, and she says, めっちゃ頑張ってるよね。毎日頑張ってるよね。
今日はスーパー面白アメリカ人バイロンの人生について話してみるよ
Let's find out!
こんにちは全人類と友達なのとこもくなミスターウィズそして
です。
Byron Day.
Today's about you, man.
Yeah, boy.
And そして
あるんですついにねこの回がやってきました皆さん
なんと。
はい。
帰ります。
めっちゃ乗り気じゃない
帰ります。
今まで、みんなのね人生をどんな人生だったのかっていうのを深掘っていこうって回をアナから始めてポールやってアーロンやってつい我ら
次は富士富士さっき富士でやってください
みんなねもうコメント欄にバイロンの人生聞きたいバイロンの人生聞きたい
Thanks guys
ということでいいこれ
ありがとうございますはい
Whoa, what is this?
It's cost markers
まあ今回も
コスパがいい
コスパがいい
コスパ markers yeah
ペンの値段の話
ペンの値段
おどうでもいい今
No it's called cost pen
ありがとう
Yeah, she's called a cost.
cost
もういいかなさっき進んでこれ今回もグラフ書いてきてもらいました人生グラフになってて横が年齢軸になってて縦軸が日本ラブ度になっております、
No 日本ラブド気をて
今日も面白いねバイロンの人に動画撮ってますけどねアメリカでずっと生まれ育ってきた、バイロンっていうのがどのタイミングで日本のことを知って、どういう人生を送ってきたのかっていうのを、日本ありがとうっていうのを、日本に関連しながらそもそもバイロンの人生もみんなで聞いていけたらなと思ってます。
Thanks Let's do it guys Let's do it Let's talk about my life
じゃあ始めてもいいかな
Sure
はい
Go ahead
それでは行ってみましょう
Welcome everybody to my life. This is my life. Well, there's a lot of parts that are missing, but I tried to get every single Japanese aspect that I have been eikyo sarutan throughout my whole life. I think that I lived a kind of an interesting life up until this point. And it's funny to see how many Japanese things I was influenced when I was doing this on the Shinkansen.
Last minute preparation.
Yeah.
舞台裏を教えてくれてありがとう東京からね大阪に来る新幹線どうでもいいのよそんな話
Dude, I was writing it, and then as soon as I was done writing the outline, it said, "Tsugi Kyoto desu." Kyoto. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I had to make this like super fast. Let's start from when I was 0 years old. Just an idea in my dad's head. Let's have children, he said to my mom, and not one came out, but two. Unbeknownst to you guys know I'm twins?
You have a dream.
You have a twin.
I was born twins. My brother, my Onisan, died 2 days after he was born because Mama no naka de ore no Onisan no nomisu o kutta. Kutta. Dakara urusai. I have 2 nomisos in my brain. Yes.
アメリカンジョークです
And when you're born and you're trying to differentiate the babies that are in the womb, the doctor defaults as baby A and baby B. Hence, my name is Byron. I'm baby B.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm baby B of the baby A and B. My brother, his name was Andre, and then my name is Byron. That's why I'm named Byron. Anyway, I was born. Yeah.
Where does Byron come from? Because when I think of Byron, I think of Lord Byron.
That's right. There's poets, Lord Byron, right? There's a girl on Mythbusters, Carrie Byron or something like that. There's a lot of different famous Byrons throughout history. But you know why I was named Byron? Is because my parents saw the name of a town called Byron Town and they said, hey, we like that name.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, yeah. They're just like, hey, that's a nice game. I guess so. I'm named after a town. I'm named after a town. Yep, that's me. When I was 3 years old, a lot of kids, they choose different toys. Maybe you choose a ball. Maybe you choose a baseball bat, right? A scooter. You know what I chose? I chose a katana. I would always
You actually chose
play. Yeah, I would always play with a sword. Like, my parents, they didn't know what to buy me for toys. And then, for some reason, they just gave me a stick. And then I started just using my imagination to pretend like I was a swordsman. And I started like doing this like with my hand. And I would always just pick the sword. Right? And I just had a bunch of swords throughout the house. Like I remember going to Disneyland. And then the light stick that I picked was like this orange sword that I just used all around. And it was pretty good. Embarrassingly, I still played with it when I was in high school. Because it had like a good weight to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were batteries in it, and I was just like used to like swing it around.
That's sick. That's dope.
Right?
Yeah.
And now when I play tennis, I still have that little child in me thinking that it's a sword. I always picked the katana no katachi because I thought that was just like the coolest blade ever.
ヨーロッパのソードじゃなくて、
Yeah.
日本の刀なの。
Yes. It looked cool. It was sleek. It was just like a really nice blade, right? And so I was always just had this akogare for that sword when I was younger.
これでちょっとだけ上がってるよね。
Yeah. I was just like, I didn't know that it was Japanese,
なるほど。
but I liked the shape. And then when I was 4 years old, and best believe, I kind of remember when I was 4 years old, my parents, they took me to my first sushi restaurant. And
アメリカのってこと？
yeah, they took me to my first American sushi restaurant, and they're like, hey, today we're gonna try raw fish. And they kind of built it up like that. They didn't say sushi. We're gonna have raw fish. Are you okay with that? And of course, I'm 4 years old, right?
I love say no, yeah.
I love chicken nuggets. Right? I go to McDonald's. Like I have microwavable goods. Eating something raw that's not cooked, disgusting.
Oh, fair enough.
Absolutely abhorrent. I thought as a 4-year-old. So they said, okay, how about you try tamago? And I was expecting like a salty egg. I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, it's sweet. Oh, this is really good. Maybe I'll go a step further. And then I went a step further and I found my first love. California rolls. California rolls.
刀でちょっとだけ上がるやん。カリフォルニアロール上がりすぎ。
Yeah.
何パーセントこれ？
I mean, anyway, we shot a video with a California roll, and everybody's made that. That is the thing that I fell in love with at a very young age. The sweet taste of mayo, kanikama, avocado, rice on the outside, and nori on the inside. Oh, I fell in love with that.
It's raining in my mouth.
Yes.
Just hearing you
See?
speak.
Spoken like a true Californian. Eh?
Yes, that's right. And I thought that this was all over Japan, right? And my love for California roll just made this food. I'm just like, this is my most favorite food in the world. It was my most favorite food in the world. And I kept eating that like all the time. It's like, can we go sushi again? And I would just get California rolls. I would not go to like maguro or like salmon or anything like that. I would just eat that.
You found your thing, eh?
I found my thing, right?
Quick question, Byron. Going back a bit, where were you born? Were you born in California or where were you?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to say that. But born twins in a place called San Jose, California.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Bay
about
Area, right?
Bay Area. San Jose is about 1 hour away from San Francisco. And then I remember when I was around 4 years old, maybe like first grade, second grade, I moved. I moved to a new town, and that's where I started second grade. But in the midst of all that, my parents bought me a Game Boy Color.
Oh.
They bought me a Game Boy Color because I wanted to be cool like everybody else who had a Pokemon. You know, my brother, he was like 25 years old at the time, and he was like naming his Pikachu like Choo Choo and like Sparky, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I want to name my monsters that, right?
Wait,
Like-
so you have an older brother as well?
Oh, that's right. I should talk about my family. Okay. I am the only son of my mom and dad. I do have several half brothers and sisters, which I call them my brothers and sisters, right? Because we grew up together. So I have 2 older brothers, and I have 3 older sisters, including my deceased twin. It's like 7.
Damn.
Yeah, we're a total of 7.
めっちゃ多いね。
Because we're a Filipino family, you know.
Yeah. That's what
Babies are
happens.
just like spitting out
そう
everywhere.
ね。お母さんとお父さんはもともとフィリピンに住んでて、アメリカに引っ越してきてからバイロンが生まれたんや。
Yeah. So hi mom and dad, I know you're watching. You're probably interested in what I remember from my childhood. I'm a second generation born American, right? And so my parents moved to America, and then they had me in the States. They had twins in the States, and that's how I came to be. There it was. Because my dad was getting jealous of his friends who were also having children. My mom didn't want any more children, but she's like, oh, please, all my friends are having kids at the same time. Can you just give me one more? And she gave me one more. Da-da-dun! There I am.
And how grateful we all are.
There. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. It's not over yet. Hold on. So, in the midst of that, I just remember playing on my Game Boy. I remember also playing Paper Mario.
Oh,
at the
hell
time,
yeah.
the N64, right? I was exposed to a lot of different Nintendo games, especially Pokemon, you know, dragging my parents to see the Pokemon movie. Like, that was a great time in my life. And it still stayed the same. So, my life was California rolls and Pokemon. I'm just like, yeah, this is a great kind of thing. And then I remember how Japan has flea markets.
Yeah.
So we have a big one in San Jose that we used to go to all the time. And my parents would take me there to buy me toys. I would usually buy a sword. And then when I started getting obsessed with Pokemon, I took my only $20 bill that I had. And she's like, oh, go buy a scooter, go buy a skateboard. It's only like $10. You can do that all the time. You know what I bought? I bought a holographic Venusaur card.
何それ
For $20?
For $20.
I feel you, man. Those things are striking.
不思議花、ホログラフィックカード、ポケモンカード。That's what I bought.
ポケモンカードの中でもホログラフィックのちょっと高いやつってこと
Yes, that's what I wanted. I didn't want no scooter. I wanted to be the coolest kid ever. Because I thought Venusaur was cooler than Charizard at the time. I was wrong. Because that's what I picked on my Game Boy. I remember picking Bulbasaur, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
just like, I gotta get Venusaur! And that's what I did.
それ何歳って言った
I think I was still like 4 or 5 at the
や
time.
ば
Yeah, and that's the kind of toys that I wanted. Swords and Pokemon. Okay, anyway, I grew up a little bit and I made some Asian friends growing up. And I'm kind of inserting this part for Aaron, but I remember meeting this half Japanese kid in class, these other 2 Filipino kids, and he brought rice balls to school.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember asking him, what are those? And then he said, rice balls. And I'm like, what are the black things? Seaweed? Oh, cool. So I wish I was friends with you. And I could have been your friend, bro.
Yeah, you could've been
I wouldn't have told the teacher on
Yeah,
you
you
that
would
it
have
was
ran
weird.
across the side of the road.
Yeah. I was like, oh, rice ball? Cool.
Nice.
Nice. I have a sandwich.
子供の中ではうわ気持ち悪いって言っちゃう子供もまあイノセントだけどいるってことだよね
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad, he was a big influence throughout my life, and he exposed me to a lot of different things as a kid because he was a system administrator, and so we always had a computer in the house. I would always just be playing computer games like Freddy Fish or Pajama Sam and
Oh, yeah.
Age of Empires.
Oh,
He
nice.
exposed me to Age of Empires.
That's sick.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
sick.
yeah. Have you heard of StarCraft?
Oh my
Starcraft.
god.
Heard of StarCraft? It's kind of like the same thing. So it's like a command and conquer game where you command an army, right?
Strategy game.
It's a strategy game, right? Where you can pick units to battle other units and go to war, right? And then one of the classes you could pick, because it was based on ancient races, was the Japanese. You could pick samurais to go to war and then attack other bases. Like, oh, like I need
fight
to
China.
Yeah, you could fight China. You could fight Korea. You could fight like Britain.
Yeah.
Right? Celtics, right? And
Oh,
everybody,
oh,
the
yeah.
conquistadors.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Imagine
yeah.
Japanese going against like conquistadors with like guns, right? Like it was really cool.
今の時代だったらちょっと難しいかもしれない
I played that when I was a kid, and that kind of helped me when I moved because those Asian kids I made friends with, they also played Age of Empires. Yes. And so we were all just like, all right, I'm gonna build a house, you build a house. And then we just started like using our imagination to pretend we were playing Age of Empires at the playground. Right? And so I'll tie all of this in later on why it matters, on why the exposure to technology was significant. But I think that's an integral part to leaving the story. Anyway, I grew up a little bit, and when I was 7 years old, I had my first crush on a girl.
Oh.
Oh.
She was Japanese.
マジで
I kind of didn't think about it, but I just found myself really attracted to this person. And then, I was in 4th grade, and it was really embarrassing because somehow she found out because I think I told somebody. And then I just remember at recess, I would be playing like ball wall or tetherball or something like that. And then she would come bring her friend to like laugh at me.
Oh.
And I would just like run, and I would run to like a different corner of like the park to play a different game, and they would follow me and just like laugh.
Oh, the cringe. Oh, my God.
I would come to school, and then she would just laugh at me, and I just didn't know what to do. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess this is just part of my life now. So elementary school is grades 1 to 5, right? 4th grade is when I had my crush. 6 to 8 is middle school, and 9 to 12 is high school. Anyway, had my first crush. She was Japanese. Didn't kind of reflect about that until much later, and I was like, oh wait,
Processing trauma.
I pretty much like stayed the same. I was still eating California rolls every week, right? And I was still playing Pokemon on my 64. My 64. Yeah, that was an excellent Christmas present.
その64ってアメリカでもみんなやってたの？
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
now.
We all came to each other's houses and we played either Mario Party, Super Smash Bros, or we would bring our Game Boys and there was an attachment that you could put on your controller to put your game in so you could battle your actual Pokemon that you
やってたわ
yeah.
やってた
It connected us.
マジ
Oh
で
yeah, it was
It
incredible.
connected
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a great time.
海外でやってたのみんな
Of course, of course. Yeah.
やってた
Yes.
The 64 is the one that.
Yes.
そうそう
Yes,
そう
yes, that
そう
one.
いや
Yes.
いやいや
ドンキーコングやるのに追加のチップ入れないと
Yeah, yeah, expansion
いけない
pack,
そうそうそう
right? Yeah,
懐かしい
I graduated, I guess, from elementary school and I went on to middle school. Actually, before I go on, so my dad was a big influence on technology and he would also always make home videos for my family. He would film like Christmases and Thanksgiving a lot, which are times when family gets together. Right, and so he would film that, and then he would make videos out of it and show my family. And it kind of made an impact on me because I would see him go day and night trying to make these videos, and then when he finally shows it, that impact and everybody's laughing and reminiscing together, I kind of went like, oh, that's something really cool. I kind of want to do that, right? And he also would play a lot of folk music in the house, like Beatles, Simon Garfunkel, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Right, and so there's probably a lot of people who would go like, "Oh, なんかこの曲バイト知ってるんだ." And it's because my dad. My dad would always expose me to that kind of music, and he would always play the guitar in the house. Right, like my parents, they wanted me to play piano. They wanted music to be part of my life. Right, I think I did it for about 3 or 4 years. Then I gave up because I was like, I want to be like dad. And so he taught me how to play the guitar. I started taking classes for that. So that's where my exposure for music
なるほどね
starts coming from. My family is a very musical family. Like we have our family get-togethers. Before I left for Japan, all the musicians got together, like guitarists, and everybody's played in the band before, and we would get together at my house and we would just play anything. We just play, hey, what songs do you know? Let's all play. And then one of my uncles, he was a very good like solo guitar artist, and he would just awasiru to like what everybody wanted to play at that time. And so I remember growing up that we were always just playing music in the house.
めっちゃいいよ
That's nice.
Yeah. On Christmas, we had like talent shows.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
こと
I think it's a Filipino thing where you get all the kids to either perform like a dance or like a song in front of the whole family. And we just do it for fun. It was like a tradition that we used to do.
Oh, that's nice.
I remember singing If I Was a Rich Man by Fiddler on the Roof. If I was a rich man. Yeah, that one.
えそれ家族の中だけでやるってこと
Yeah.
すごいめっちゃ仲いいじゃん
Because the families are that big, right?
Right. 家族の中であってもみんなでエンターテインこうし合うっていうのが今のこのバイロンの感じ伝わってこない
Yeah, yeah.
このグラフも色のついたペン自分で持ってきてさなんか可愛くしたりしてるじゃんでこういうのがバイロンのエンターテインメントのなんかめっちゃいいところやなって思うよね
Okay, anyway, back to the Japanese theme of my life. Here's where I went to middle school, and I'm pretty sure that you guys can see these two things coming. This is when my friend, he had like a connection to Japan. I don't know if it was like through military or something, and he asked me a very integral question. Have you heard of Naruto?
そんなめっちゃためて言う言葉じゃない
I mean, but for me, it was really important, right? Like, I only grew up with Pokemon. I couldn't get into Dragon Ball Z at the time, and I think that I just like Pokemon too much, and I wouldn't watch any other show. And so he's like, have you heard of Naruto? And I'm like, no. And that was my whole life for middle school. I would just watch Naruto, and guess what this is?
何この月みたいなやつ
That is.
To get to potential.
ブリーチな
Yeah. I just got exposed to Naruto, and
これ月がテンションは無理じゃないちょっ
it's
と
a good potential. Come on. It's got potential. Yeah, I just remember like having, I think I've said this on the channel before, like a big bowl of ramen, and I would just crack like 3 eggs into it and like pretend the ramen that he would eat in the show, right? And I loved it so much. I would listen to Go by Flo, the song
yeah,
we reacted
yeah.
to, and Haruka Kanata like all the time. And
Nice.
then I did it so much that I just started Naruto running at school. I was that guy. I was that guy. who thought-
Naruto runner? Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was the Naruto runner, and I ran like this everywhere, and everybody just thought that I was just that weird kid. Like I would hug my ex and then Naruto run away, and everybody knew me as that guy at the gym. I thought it made you run faster.
それ
I really did.
It doesn't?
Like, it doesn't. Does it?
Does it?
Someone
Must.
actually did the science behind it, and it is. It just looks.
There's like less friction.
There's less
in the air if
friction,
you
and
don't
you're
do it
more
with your hands,
aerodynamic
right?
Oh, really?
and like that. Yeah. So I was way ahead of my time.
あの顔見てる
That was my first exposure to Japanese, and I thought, wow, what a cool language, datebayo. And I thought that all Japanese people talk like that.
字幕で見てたのか
Yeah.
英語で吹き替えなわけじゃないよね
And it wasn't dubbed. It was just all like Naruto speaking Japanese, and then me trying to pick up words here and there, and I just always noticed he said dateboyo. And I was like, wow, I wonder if I made a Japanese friend and I could tell him that. But good thing I didn't. Yeah. I watched anime throughout all of middle school. And then this is when I got to high school and I met my Zutomos.
ずっともう
Yeah, this was when I was around like 15 years old, and when you go to high school, you have to take a foreign language.
あそうなの
Like you guys have to take English, right? You guys had to take French.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so we could choose in between French, Spanish, and luckily Japanese was offered at my high school.
だから15歳くらいからとか
14歳ぐらい.
14歳か
There was a Japanese class, and I didn't meet my best friends there, but we all took the class together. This is my friend. He's a cop now. This is my other friend. We all took Japanese class together. I was a bad student. I didn't really pay attention in Japanese class. What I do remember from that, though, are two things. So one, I remember my Japanese teacher trying to teach me te form, and she does it through like a song. So for foreigners, we don't know how to use, like atte. We don't know if it's like ate or atte with a small tsu. Or like why does gu turn into ide? Like oyoide. Oyogu, oyoide. Like why does it turn into that? So it's not oyoite. It's not oyoite. For me, that's what it looks like, right? One thing that I remember the most, which is very embarrassing, is that in sophomore year in high school, we were challenged with the project of making a Japanese commercial that had to have 10 different grammar points inside your commercial. And with my friends, with our powers combined, would you like to see the video?
Oh wait.
あある
Oh.
This is all the culmination of my dad's influence on exposing me to video editing, and my Japanese influence from my class, and the friends that I introduced earlier. And during this time, right, like my dad was exposing me to video editing software, and I mastered Sony Vegas at a very young age. You know Sony Vegas, the editing, it's like Final Cut Pro, but it's like a different editing software. So before I got into Premiere, I made this in Sony Vegas and Adobe After Effects. And I learned everything on YouTube in order to make this video.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm like, how do you make a Rasengan? And I looked up how to make a
待って
Rasengan.
待って螺旋が出てくるの
Yes. Anyway, let me, without further ado, this is Japanese commercial.
アニメめちゃくちゃ出てくるってことになっちゃう
掃除するのが大嫌いですか
何これ
This is hurting me. This is hurting me.
ピンポンは何ですか
This is hurting. What?
一回止めていい
Sure,
It's actually well done.
Yeah, dude.
14歳5歳とかで、
Yeah.
これすごいわ。まずすごいけど。
Yeah, dude, how are we gonna make the ping pong ball float in the air? They're like, can you edit it in? And I'm like, no, I have a better idea. I have this really long stick in the garage, and we can take the ball there. And then they're like, does this look real? Does this look real? All right, yeah. Just put it in like that. Okay, yeah. And we just started using the stick, and behind like a green screen that we had like at home.
Yeah.
そうよね。
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And I looked up like how to make like anime lines like that, right? And I was just like looking up like how to do the effect on After Effects. And I tried so hard. I think I did this for at least like 2 weeks straight, just editing. And it was just homework. Like this was supposed to be just like a quick project. But I would stay up till like 2 a.m. trying to figure out how to do these things. And I realized at this moment, I think I should video edit. I think I've never had so much fun editing a video in my entire life that I thought that maybe this is something that I should do, because I think I focused so much onto creating a project just so that we could create this. Anyway, let's continue. See, I made it.
アニメばっかやないか。
Yeah, they're not referencing
Dude,
anime
I
at all.
know, that's why. And we're just like, what if you come here on my phone? Oh my god.
Yes!
I'm crying, dude.
Oh my lord.
とのしない
楽しくない. He got hella mad. I didn't say that I was gonna do
い
that.
いですね今日はピンポンをする遊びましょうイエーイ
Man, that was
That was sweet.
incredible.
Thanks,
Oh my
guys.
god.
This was a big turning point in my life. Our sensei loved it so much that we were the only guys to show like the outtakes
Yeah.
inside the class, because she was just like round of applause, round of
I would
applause.
get great for that.
A plus, dude. No,
Oh, yeah.
straight up A plus.
That
God.
would be an A+, man.
Inside of my school, there was a video production class, right? And then that you could take in your junior year. And if you did well, and it was a very, very weighted class. Like everybody wanted to be part of it. Everybody wanted to study video production. This was like the birth of like YouTube, and like people were really getting into it. And I thought, to make myself stand out, I showed him the commercial, and I got in. I got into the video production class, and because it was such a weighted class, but he's like, hey, we should really try to make this better. I think that you could be like a really good editor someday. And then so he let me in the class.
さっきのさ作ってた動画めちゃくちゃ効果音とかも全部アニメじゃなかった？
Dude, what if like we did a Rasengan? Yeah. Dude, oh, you could like Kamehameha the ping pong ball out. It's like, oh, can we put the Falcon Punch in there? Yeah, you put the Falcon Punch in there.
It's all nerd culture.
Right. That was my love for Japan. It was right here at the tippy top, because that's when I loved anime. I was taking Japanese. Everything was great. And then I think in my junior year, I was just going through it as a high schooler. I didn't think I tried that much, and everything just started to dwindle down in terms of everything. Like, I don't think I was watching anime. Maybe I was depressed. And then I went to a different college for some time, and Japanese just didn't really go through my mind at all, other than California rolls. So yeah, exactly. I would eat California rolls, but
カリ
like
フォルニアロール半分しか日本じゃないんだよ。半分カリフォルニアや。
when I was 20 years old, this is when I went to the University of California, Irvine. Zat. Yeah, this is an anteater. That's our mascot. It's a very prestigious school for like biology. So like people who want to become doctors go there. But I studied kokusai kanke in college. Because I thought that, what am I most passionate about? I'm not passionate about math, science, English, math. What am I passionate about? I made a Japanese commercial. Japan! So it was a Japanese focus. So in school, I remember learning about comparing different cultures, and I took a class on I remember doing an environmental class, and you had to watch a movie on the environment. So guess what movie I picked? Mononoke Hime! Hell yeah! But I wasn't special because 5 other people did that as well.
You should have done the Pompoko movie. That would have been
I
sick,
should have
yeah.
done that.
平成たぬき合戦
When I went to UCI, they had Japanese. They have you take 3 tests to assess your level because I haven't taken Japanese for like 2 years, right? So it was pretty much just Teform and Hiragana Katakana. But I think my listening was good because of anime and my reading was good because sometimes I would read manga from time to time. And then I took it, passed the listening test, like intermediate level, no problem. Reading test, intermediate, no problem. I go up to take the oral test. 専攻は何ですか? 専攻は何でしたっけ? じゃあ basic で And I was put in basic Japanese. I think like just like there's like it was from 1A to like 1D. I was placed in 1B. So a little bit above basic.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's when I met my Japanese teacher. And she had a very big influence on my life. And I think that I really started to love Japan. Not just from learning the language again, but I think just like the way that she believed in her students. And I really came to love it a lot. And I participated on campus. There was a lot of events on campus where you can experience Japanese culture. They also had like cultural exchange where Japanese students from Japan would come and you get to talk to them. Yeah. They had like a language lab where you could talk to somebody in Japanese all the time and put in hours to get extra credit. They had sado on campus. And then they had ikebana on campus. And we were able to like see one of the masters like do tea ceremony. Like turn the cup this way. And then make sure that the painting is showing. And then take yukuri like 3 sips. And something like that. We did the whole thing, right? And it was a really cool exposure.
その先生は日本人
Yeah. Here, this is when we had a competition. It was funded by the military. It was called like the Kakehashi Project or something like that. And you had to present something about American culture in Japanese. You know, a very basic intermediate level. I decided to pick film. And I think I did my project on like Godzilla or like I did on like King Kong or like how America had these Japanese influences for making films that were inspired from Japan. And I got in. Full ride to Japan, flights paid for, lodging paid for. Well, food is on your own, obviously. And there was pretty much a free ride to Japan just so that you could expose students to the culture and you had to write like a 5-page paper on your
そうなの、
Yeah.
すごいじゃん
It was great.
知らんかった
It was amazing. And then I had another thing that I had to go to. When I was in college, I was in this very prestigious position that required me to be in a lot of places and took a very big time commitment. I remember like missing my brother's wedding. I remember missing like a lot of different important things in that period of time. And the thing that still kind of hurts me to this day is that I couldn't make the orientation for the project, and I was dropped.
Oh no!
I was dropped.
That's
I was dropped, and I think that my last year at UCI was probably one of the most depressing years of my life because I'm just like I gave everything up for this club program that I was part of, and you know it's a position where they vote you in. Right? And so I have a responsibility to show up and show face for my organization. And so I had to go, I'm like, I can't just like FaceTime in or anything. They're like, nope. And as soon as I didn't go to that orientation, they just think, oh, yaruku nai ne.
Wow.
And that's here. FML. Yeah. Well, F my life. That's what it means. Yeah. At that moment, I felt like I lost everything. I felt like I couldn't go to Japan anymore. Or like it was just such a big opportunity. Here I am making a Japanese commercial. Japan is a big influence on my life just to be dropped from like a full ride opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was super depressing. And I remember going to class the next day and I was very like degaff, right? Like, whatever. It happened. It happened, whatever, right? And I would just like sit like this in the class, like it doesn't affect me. I'm a dude. I'm not supposed to show my emotion. And then my sensei, she comes over to me, like during our class, she's like, "Byron-san, 大丈夫ですか?" And I'm just like, 大丈夫. And then, みんなペアやってください! And she literally takes me out of the class, and then she talks to me one-on-one, and she says, Byron-san, めっちゃ頑張ってるよね。毎日頑張ってるよね。いつも応援してますよ. And like she was like, I'm so proud of you for everything that you do. You like participate in the Japanese culture events and you go to all these things and you work so hard. And I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
I
bro.
cried. I cried right on the spot. And I was like,
That is.
めっちゃいい話。
yeah, sorry, I'm crying right now. And I was so touched. Like, she stopped the class just to talk to me one-on-one like that. And it really, like, pierced my heart and how much she cared for her students. And that she, damn, I'm crying, fuck. It was just I just remember it so vividly. Like, it was a very, like, dark point in my life, and here you have this one teacher amongst all the classes I was taking, and just believing you just like a little bit. And I think that was all the push that I needed. And this Kamehameha right here.
Is that what that
That's
means?
what it is. It's my sensei no Chikara. She's just like, and she pretty much brought me back all the way to normal, and I started to just love Japan again. I'm just like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna graduate, and then I'm gonna go to Japan. That's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna go back, even if I have to pay for it. I'm gonna be back someday, right?
It really is like
back.
the Gohan Goku.
It really is.
Cells type of situation.
It really
right?
is. Like, yeah, in a time of darkness, like she really believed in me, and I really owe it to my sensei for just doing that for me. Like, I don't think that she knows how much it really meant to me that she did that. And then in 2017, I went with one person from the Japanese commercial to Japan. In 2017, yeah, and we went as like 5 friends, and here I was just like, Yoko, this is so amazing. I freaking love Japan. And I did the whole touristy thing. Went to Akihabara, Kyoto. We went to Sendai.
Oh really?
Yeah,
We went to Sendai.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, we wanted to try Bhutan, but then I think my friend wanted to go to the Zao Fox Forest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then to pets foxes, domesticated foxes. Right, and then there's like a tiny little village of like 100 or so foxes, and they had like this thing that you have to sign. Like, if they come and like approach you, you have to check them, because if you don't check them, they're very territorial, so they might pee on you.
Oh really?
Yeah, and so it was
Check
like,
'em.
you have to check them.
日本に来たのはここが初めて。
初めて。Yeah.
どうやった初めて。
Oh my god, I can't believe rice balls are in this. Oh wow, it tastes so good. It tastes so good. Guys. Throughout my whole life, I've been exposed to California rolls. And, I've been trying to try salmon and toro, and I kind of love it. But do you think that Japan sushi is on a different level? How is it, dude? Shut up! America, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing exposing them to plastic sushi in the States when Japan has this aburi otoro this whole time? Oh my god. And the uni and the salmon and everything. Oh, I was on cloud 9 for sure. Yeah, just if I could eat sushi every day, if I could eat ichiran every day, I would. I really just would. That was my exposure to like Japanese, to washoku, and I was completely blown away. So blown away that I deliberately ignored Japanese food in my home country. I still love California rolls, don't get me wrong. You guys can try my California roll, it's really good. But damn, I make it a habit to go at least like once a month to like a really good sushi place, like, and it's like a must because I just crave it. I crave that good sushi. It's so delicious. Anyway, that was an incredible time. I still think that that time in 2017 was probably the best trip of my life. Not just because it was Japan, but also because my friends were just willing to do what everybody wanted to do. Like,
That's really important.
Right? Like, my friends were like, or I suggested to my friends, hey, we should go to Arashiyama and wear kimono. Byron, that sounds dumb. Like, why do you want to wear kimono, dude? Isn't that cultural appropriation? I'm like, bro, gotta do it, guys. We're in Japan. When else are we gonna get to do it? And then my friend, who's a girl, I was like, hey, are you gonna get your hair done? And she's like, no, it's expensive. I'll pay for you. You gotta get the hair. You gotta do the whole thing. And then I paid for her to get her hair done. And then little Japanese kids would try to like take a picture with her and stuff. Yeah. I'm just like, that's right. You have to take a picture. I think I have a picture in Arashiyama on my Instagram.
これ日本人なの？
No! You're gonna get a kick out of that, dude! Oh my god, this guy, he's like, dude, oh my god, this guy always says like, I kind of look Japanese today. I'm like, shut up, man. You're the whitest Filipino ever, man. I'm gonna feed his ego so much.
Bro, I
dude.
told you.
Yeah, bro, I told you. I look so Japanese. It must be that I'm like, what, a quarter Dutch. He always says that shit, dude.
14歳とか15歳で一緒の日本語のクラスになった友達と今もめっちゃ仲良くて、しかも一緒に日本来るわけでしょ。
Yeah.
なんかすごくない？
Yeah, dude.
Power friendship. eh?
Power
友
friendship.
情めっちゃいいよ。
Power friendship. He's a cop now. We had, you know when you play King's Cup, you have to make a rule?
Yeah.
So our rule was like whenever like we made him drink, we had to say, "You're under arrest!" And we had to like put his hands behind his back. Anyway, during the trip, I told my friends, you know, man, I should live here someday. They're like, do it. You should do it, dude. You should do it. And here is when I quit my job and I moved back home because, you know, UCI is in SoCal and I lived in NorCal. And so I quit my job. I worked for like Uber Eats for like 6 months
そうなの？
to save enough money to go to Japan. And then I started my life as an English teacher in Osaka.
That quick, eh?
Yeah.
6 month span.
Well, yes, 2 years, quit my job, and then I came to Japan in August 2019,
あー
right before Corona. Going back in time, here at UCI, when I was around 21 years old, because I had this huge video editing experience and also the organization that I told you earlier that maybe not go to Japan.
I was wondering if that's what it was.
What's it called? I knew somebody from that organization, and he knew of this channel called Just Kidding Films. And Just Kidding Films, they've been really popular in the Asian American community for a long time. They used to be popular for their skits. 1 million subscribers was a big thing back in the day. And he got offered a job to work for their channel. And when they needed more editors, that guy knew that I edited videos. So, and I would edit a video like every 6 months or something. It wasn't too much of like a priority for me. But he contacted me, I applied, and I got the job. And I worked for that channel as an editor for 1 year. And then I became a team member after 1 year. And so I was editing videos. I was part of cast. So I would appear on film and I would just be their lackey for like 5 years. And that was pretty much the first YouTube influence that I had. You know, I looked up to them when I was in high school, right? It's different when you start working with them because your perspective changes on the kind of people that they are, right? One of my bosses is Bart Kwan, and he owns like this gym called Barbell Brigade. Anyway, my other boss was Japanese. His last name is Jitsukawa, and I don't know if Joe is watching like this, but he has a tattoo and it says Jitsukawa. This is the Nikkei American Jin, man. I used to work for them, and that's when I started to love video editing even more. And I thought that I was going to become an English teacher as soon as I graduated. But my life took a different turn when they started paying me a lot of money. I was making much more than I would be making as an English teacher in Japan. And I kind of just cruised. I cruised because I was probably making more money than I am right now.
Damn.
Yeah. I was making like around the equivalent of like USD 9,000 a month.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 90万
やば。
以上ぐらい. And I was still in college.
That's crazy.
I was still in college, and it was just coming in, and I'm like, do I need to study? Do I need to do anything with my life right now? And I think that I was working for the company, and I realized that I didn't want to edit for like 10 hours anymore for the channel because I still felt like I was an entertainer. I did like acting. I did like being part of cast because that helped my followers like go up, and it helped me become more popular.
Because during this, you had your own channel too, didn't you?
Yeah, I started my channel I think 3 years in, right? And this was a very weird part of my life, and I don't know if everybody's watched the other videos, but I kind of talk about this where I got so popular that, and our channel was getting like 100,000 views, maybe 500,000, maybe millions of views. So people would come up and say, hey, you're Byron, right? You're Byron from JK, can I take a picture? And that would happen a lot. And at first it was great. I was like, is this really happening? Is this the kind of life I'm living? And then something happened with the channel, and I got removed from my role as cast, and I was just an editor. And so when people said, "Hey, are you Byron from JK?" I kind of had like this kind of negativity connected with the company that I didn't want to be recognized for being a JK member
なる
anymore.
ほどな。
And so I kind of, during this time that I didn't talk about, I kind of became a shut-in. I kind of became like a low-key hikikomori at the time. Because I didn't want to go outside because I just felt embarrassed that happened to me at my work, and that I didn't think that life was good anymore. Although that I was working for like a big YouTube channel, and I had my own channel at the time, and it was doing well. Like I got up to like 200,000 subscribers like on my own. Like I was making my own content. I was like, nothing going right for me in my life. I don't have a good friend community. I don't have any motivation to make videos. I don't have anything going for me in my life. But what did I have? I still had a love for Japanese study. I was so happy from this trip that I thought that if I want to travel, I want to learn the language, I want to go and create a new community of friends, I need to go to Japan. I need to go to Japan. And I thought that because I was young, right? I was around like 26, and I think it was better to experience going abroad as someone who is young as opposed to someone who is like 40 years old. I thought that now's the time to leave all my friends behind in the States, leave all of my family behind in the States, and go off on my own and try to revitalize myself and what it means to love life again, right? And so that's what I did. That's pretty much like the sole reason why I came to Japan. All of those things combined. So with my sensei's power, right, it still kept me at this level, even though that I was going through a lot of different things during this time that you guys don't see on this list. This right here was probably not here. This is different. This is different. But around from like 24, before coming to Japan, that was in fact the lowest point in my life, I think. Like 24, 25 years old. I was like really down in the depths. But this is Nihon Rabudo. Not like, do I hate my life or not?
So, ne?
Yeah. So I was really over here. Anyway, I come to Japan. I work as an English teacher. I like it a lot, and I realize it's not for me. It's really not for me. I don't think that I'm cut out to be a teacher. I think I like editing videos too much. I work too much in the industry to kind of switch careers.
あと英語の先生って給料も結構ね、少ない
Yeah,
でしょ。
they have a kind of a
そう
reputation
ね、
in
そ
Japan.
んな
don't
もら
they?
ってたらさ、結構差にうわこんな違うんだってなっちゃいそうよね。
Yeah. I think I was just cruising. I was just trying to find some friends. I didn't meet you guys yet, obviously. And, I would just try to make a community of my own. I don't think that I found an ibasho anywhere. And then, the day I met Fuji, everything went completely dead. And it was worse than this is not even 100. This is negative 100. I can't even
こ
show
っ
it
く
down
るやろ
here.
普通にここがあったら
I hated it so much. Kanashi YouTube. How dare you remind me of the darkest point of my life over here.
ほんまも
Anyway, that's a joke. That's a joke, obviously. I'm glad I met you guys. Where's Paul? I need Paul to be here.
Yeah, we need Paul here too, man.
Yeah, because, when you quit YouTube for a while, you still have this kind of creative impulse to, like, do something with it. Like, you have all this childhood and you have all, like, this potential, and for you to just, like, throw it all away, or, like, that's what I told myself. Like, why are you just throwing it away? And then it's like me against me. Like, I was unhappy, but you have talent, but you were unhappy. Does that make you happy? I don't know. And I was just like mayoteru. And then I met you guys at the karaoke bar.
Yeah.
I met you guys at the karaoke bar when I was just cruising through life. And then Fuji was like, こいつ歌うまいじゃん or something like that. I don't know. That's what you always say.
最初カラオケバー行った時いたっけ
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
I was there, yeah.
But we didn't meet. You left early.
そうよね
Well, we talked a bit. We talked a bit, but I remember
Yeah.
leaving earlier. Yeah.
So-
but we had like the three of us met up at another time, like a few days later or something like that. I remember.
そう
Yeah.
でポールもいたよねあの時
Yeah.
でカラオケバーに、その時もう僕らは YouTube しててなんかもう一人めっちゃ面白い喋れるやつ誰か入れたいねって話をポールとかとしてて でみんなでカラオケバー行ってワイワイしてたら、うわなんかめっちゃ歌うまいやつおるやんって思って何と思ってちょっと喋りかけるやん。喋りがくっそうまいの。何こいつめっちゃエンターテイナーやん。ちょっとうざいけど何こいつってなってもう会ったその日にバイバイっつって連絡先交換して、でその後ポールと喋って絶対誘おうって言ってバイロン興味ないって言って誘ったのが最初だと思う。
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, hey, do you want to help us? He said, do you want to help us with the YouTube channel? And I said, sure, I'll help you guys a little bit. Then I didn't know that he was going to sign me up for a Dore K.
おい聞こえ悪いよ聞こえが。でも本当に最初はね、バイロンがそのでっかいチャンネルしてるとか全く知らずに、シンプルに最初喋った時のバイロンのエンターテインメント性でこいつしかおらんなと思って。
No, and that's why I helped you. That's why I helped you. Because if you approached me and you said, hey, aren't you that guy from JK Films? Which I'm always used to being approached at in America. I would think that this guy's just using me. This guy's just using me, and like I don't like being known as that guy like on JK Films because I don't want to be like associated with that channel because I just had like a negative place in my heart, right? But then you invited me because you thought I was funny.
We invited you for you, buddy.
Yeah, you guys thought I was an interesting person, and I'm just like, they don't even know. They don't even know I have 200k subscribers. They don't even know that I edited for a channel with like 2 million subscribers, you know? And like, you guys didn't look at that at all. Obviously, you looked me up later, and you saw the kind of person that I was, but that was fine. I came and I helped you because that was not the initial reason you wanted me to help. You wanted me to help me. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Even now that you use me every time. I'm being used. I was hypnotized into thinking that they weren't using me, but now, 3 years down the line, I realize now I've been being used.
Quick bait and switch.
I've been clickbaited.
Quick bait and switch for
That's
you.
right.
That
That really, it changed my life. It really did. It really changed my life when we started this YouTube channel. Like, well, you guys started it first, and then I joined later, obviously. It's been good times ever since, and right here is when it got better. This is when YouTube started. This is when YouTube started, and we were being boys. Fuji deatte here. See, this is going up. I colored this in.
これジョークやからここはないんだな。
Anyway, it was going up. Like, I was enjoying my time. Like, I was studying Japanese. I was creating with you guys. We were having just good fun, good laughs. And this is when Osaka hanareta hi.
That really is.
Yeah. And, I'm in Tokyo. And the reason why this is black is because I've been in Tokyo for about 2 or more years, but, 友達まだいない.
And it's hard.
That's why. Why would I want to make friends in Tokyo when I have you guys? That's the thing.
Oh,
it's just
buddy.
like,
Aw.
bro, it doesn't make sense if it makes sense to spend time with the people who mean most to you, and that's why I come every month, guys, to spend time with you.
No, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's why right now it's at a pitari 50 level. If I was in Osaka, maybe it'd be 100. But in Tokyo, I'm at a 50.
Lesson is Osaka is better than Tokyo is what you're saying, right?
I like you guys.
Okay. All right.
If you guys lived in Tokyo, it'd be a different story. But you guys are in Osaka, so I want to be where you guys are. That's the moral of the story. And that's it. That's my life from all the way up until this point. That whole thing, I think that my whole life happened for a reason all the way up until this point, right? Like from my dad's exposure, like at a young age, from the Japanese class to
That commercial was
The-
epic.
I can't believe I showed you
That's
that. Like,
incredible.
when would I ever bring that up in conversations?
Exactly.
Like,
By the way.
me and my friends made this dope Japanese commercial. But anyway, that's it for me. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Good story.
はい、ということで今日はバイロンの人生ということで聞いてみました。
疲れた。
お疲れ様です。
お疲れ様です。
炭酸。Now it's your turn. It's your turn. We all members have done it.
興味あるかな。
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Come on.
Like, because obviously you're my friend,
Yeah.
and I know you fairly well, but I didn't know all these details, right? So it was cool to actually get the the backstory, the context.
That's it.
From from a historian's perspective. Right? it's good to actually understand, where how you were shaped, why you are the way you are.
This is why I am the way I am.
And I feel like this whole thing here is really formative experience. You know what I mean? Like those the friends you make in high school are chances are you're gonna remember them forever.
Yep.
And if you don't, stay connected with them for the rest of your life kind of thing, right? And so, these people you met in high school, you went to Japanese class with them, like all these things obviously added up to bring you here, right? So it was really educational, put it that way.
めっちゃいいなと思うのはこれってバイロンだなって思うのよ。めちゃくちゃ下がってめちゃくちゃ上がるじゃん。てかバイロンって自分が興味あることに対してはめちゃくちゃ 190% で頑張るじゃん。で、ちょっと興味ないことはね、ちょっとちゃんとしてほしいと思います。でもなんかそれがね、なんかバイロンのめっちゃ魅力だし、僕が大好きなところだよね。エンターテインメントで人をこう喜ばせることに対してはすっげえ興味あってめちゃくちゃ頑張ってくれるっていうのが、僕らの中でさ、それ時々しんどいじゃん。でもカメラ回ったらバイロン誰よりもっつって頑張る。もうそれがもういつも感謝してるし。
カフェインのおかげで。
ちょっとね照れてるね今。それがね今日話聞けてすごい嬉しかったと思います。皆さんがね思うバイロンへの思いっていうのをちょっとコメント欄に、ね、ぜひ書いてほしいよね。もうそれがいいねボタンとそのコメントがそのバイロンの今後のもっと頑張るぞっていう気持ちにつながると思うから。皆さん温かいコメントをよろしくお願いします。
俺はうるさいよ。
ちょっと気にしてるからやめてよ。それがバイロンの良さなんだ。他に僕らに話してほしいトピックがあればコメント欄までよろしくお願いします。
藤は次、藤は次、藤は次。
それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょう。バイバイ。チャンネル
登録
お願い
します。